Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Market Insights with Linux, and welcome to this new video update on Meta. It's been a while since we covered Meta, but personally I have bought quite a lot of Meta in November, which some of you, if you're part of the Telegram channel, already know. If you don't know, I shared a Meta buy order or a buy call for I think early November, and that hit. And at the moment, I think that's up about 6%, which is not amazing, but if you can catch like a 6 to 10 to 15% move every now and then in the year, it will help you outperform the markets, and that is ultimately my main goal right now in stocks. But yeah, so I have bought Meta, but I wanted to generally give you my thoughts on the current situation of Meta, what to expect. Can we rally a little bit higher, as is illustrated here on the charts? Are there still some interesting areas to potentially scale into a Meta buy? And I really wanted to talk about the short to medium term. I think the long term is a little bit harder to kind of predict for a stock like Meta. And I'll tell you why in a moment when we talk about the structure here, because I think the structure is quite difficult to interpret. And I'll tell you why, but short to medium term is actually quite clear. Now, some relevant details I think you need to know about the markets today is that in about 30 minutes, when I hope this video is already live, we have core PCE price index data coming out back from September. That matters a lot. We have an interest rate decision next week. Next week, Wednesday, it matters for that, but in general, it also matters to kind of see what the inflation rate is doing. That's what the PCE price index is. And then outside of that, is there something else? No liquidity problems today. No repo operations, same as yesterday. And the SOFR spread is also decreasing, which is pretty good. And the markets in general, pre-market, obviously the NYO has just happened, but pre-markets, the equities have actually rallied slightly higher as well. But let's get right into Meta right here. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about fundamentally, and why I'm actually quite a big fan of Meta. I mean, I have already sold part of my position, which we scaled into, by the way, between 630 and 610, which I also, if you watch my Meta video, I also spoke about that now that I think of it. But ultimately, I do still like Meta. I mean, there's a couple of things. Obviously, the last earnings that we had that massive tax rebalance issue, which caused us to drop down much lower at the end of October. I think that whole reaction was a bit of an overreaction. So that already fundamentally was one of the reasons why I really wanted to buy Meta. And something else that I like a lot about Meta right now is their focus on AI, and their focus on not their focus, but the CapEx that they're spending to get there. I mean, you can say a lot about Meta, and recently we also had the news about their metaverse spendings that are cutting back. That's also why we opened much higher right here. Ultimately, I think that's a good thing, all right? Meta is very much a company that whenever there's an opportunity, or whenever they think there is an opportunity, they do everything they can to actually seize that opportunity and to try to make something out of it. With Metaverse, that did not work out. With a lot of things in the past, that did work out. And maybe AI is also one of those things. I at least like some of the things that they're doing. For example, I think they made a partnership with some major news sources. It's interesting, and I like that in the company. Okay, I'm a pretty big fan of pretty big fan is a big word, but I like Mark Zuckerberg. I think he has done some great things with Meta. So generally, I like Meta as a stock. Now, like I said, the recent news about cutting the metaverse spending, I think that's good news as well. However, when we talk about structure, it's a little bit difficult to estimate what Meta is going to do. If you zoom all the way out, you can see here on the weekly time frame that Meta is in an uptrend. What major stock is not, but on the lower time frames, it looks a little bit more to me that we are getting into some sort of a distribution, accumulation, whatever you want to call it. But then it's more likely that we will remain relatively stable. Now, because of the news, because of the general market fundamentals right now, I expect us to rally up higher, right? I expect us to fill some more of that gap that we left to the upside right here at the end of October, beginning of November. So my main price target is right here at 700. I think we can get there, not only because of that gap, which acts as a bit of a magnet, but also because I think the start of this rally has been quite constructive. So that's what I expect in general. But a breakout above that, like if the stock markets really regain the strength that they've had since April and May, then I think we can do that. But at the moment, I wouldn't expect it. I think we can rally up higher. So that's another, what is it, like 6%? But from there, I do expect resistance. And I expect us to remain relatively stable here on top of 630 and around 650. That seems to be the main area where I think we will find some stability. And then it's waiting for either some good news specifically for Meta or some sort of a major momentum shift in the general equity markets for a breakout. But I think that's a little bit more likely than just expecting a blind uptrend is the word I want to give it. And short term, when we're talking about opportunities for Meta, I would also say that we left some gaps to the downside. I mean, if for some reason we get a spike back down into 630 and 620, I actually think that's an opportunity to buy again. We have the yearly rolling VWAP, previous month point of control, fair value gaps. Unless we get some very bad news, I think we'll be able to hold that. And I think from there, we'll be able to rally into 700, 705, 710, maybe a little bit higher, depending on the momentum we have when we get there. So that's generally what I expect short term right here on Meta. Those are some thoughts that I have fundamentally that I think you need to know about Meta. If you do have any questions, make sure to join that Telegram server. Make sure to join the community that we have in there. I'm always available for questions and requests in there. So hopefully I'll see you there. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.